Hello everybody! We are almost done with requirement engineering. The objective of this video is to explain that the main output of the requirement engineering process is a requirement specification. As you have seen in the 5th video of this lesson, the requirement engineering process is oriented towards the production of a verified and validated requirement specification. This specification can be produced in many different ways and formats. It can be a readable document and/or a models-oriented document with texts and draws, models, etc., and/or other sources different than the previous one. In order to produce the final specification, the requirements engineering process suggests to operate in an iterative way. You work on the different activities several times and therefore you produce many versions of the requirements until they are correct, consistent and complete. Indeed, as we have already seen in previous lessons, the requirement is not only formed by its text description. It has many properties that must be taken into account during the different iterations. Do you remember? Yes, the requirements engineering process can be a bit complicated if the number of requirements starts to grow. And of course, if you specify a complex system, for instance an air traffic control software system, then you will get a lot of requirements. How should we manage this situation? Let's reformulate the question in a more professional way. How must you perform the requirement management activity when the number of requirements grow? Yes, you're right. We must seek help in specialized computer tools. These kind of programs are called requirement management tools or systems. So, the main goal for the requirements management tool is to provide solutions for properly managing the most important properties of the requirements. Those are persisting the requirements in databases or files, managing all the attributes for requirements, the ID, texts, custom attributes, etc. Providing means to connect requirements with other work products, the traceability links. Allowing to support different versions of the requirements. Providing support to manage the changes in the requirements, for example, to develop several versions of the requirements at the same time, to merge them, etc. And to produce a requirement specification, software or systems requirement specification. There are many requirement management tools in the market, most of them offering a lot of interesting functionalities. As almost always happens in the computer tools domain, some of them are free. Some of them are permanently updated and improved every year. Some of them are supporting standards. Some of them connect with many other tools, etc., etc., etc. So, you will have to decide and select which requirement management tool are you going to use, according to which are your most important needs. There are many different ways to find the existing tools in the market. And as you can see in this video, I am going to surf a little bit. You can do the same thing. Read some relevant journals or ask colleagues. But please remember that what you see now is what I have got at the moment of recording the video and not at the moment you visualize it. However, the important issue for you is to remember that the requirements engineering process must transfer to the rest of the processes or activities an understandable specification of the system at its corresponding level of abstraction. This specification must represent the view of the different stakeholders about the system, or what the system must do, how good or bad must do it, and some properties about the system, as well as its traversal along the next lifecycle stages. Okay, in case you want to produce a requirement specification document, quite useful by the way, you need to structure and define this document. And as I have tried to do all along this course, the standards can help us again in selecting the good one. What is the most usual structure for a requirement specification document? According to the ISO 29148 standard, we have to distinguish between two documents. The stakeholder requirement specification document, which, as we see in the screen, must put the focus on high-level requirements distributed in business management, business operational, and user requirements, and the system or software requirement specification document, which concentrates the specification in the different types of requirements at the system level: functional, usability, performance, operations, mode and states, physical characteristics, etc. Okay, summing up, to manage such an amount of properties, features and functionalities around requirements is a complicated task, and when the project is complex, it demands a requirements management tool, which, besides, helps you with the specification. Let me ask a real expert if I am correct. Richard, why is it so important to manage requirements using specialized software tools?
Hi Juan, yes, you're absolutely correct. In real life, all kinds of software and industrial systems are getting more and more complex. There is just too much complexity for any of us to store this information in our heads. That's why these specialized requirements management tools such as DAWs have been developed. The cost of product or project failure is high. We have all read stories of project failure. Many of these failures have been blamed on bad communication of requirements. In all types of businesses, regardless of size or industry, the need for effective requirements management has never been so critical to ensuring project success. However, a surprising number of companies have suffered from poor requirements management. Without effective requirements management, business users lack access to timely and accurate information or requirements, hindering communication and contributing to delays, errors, and excessive rework. The issue in software and product development is one of ensuring collaboration, making sure everybody has access to the right information at the right time, working to the right requirements, capturing and consolidating requirements in one central repository. Using this repository, traceability can be established from, say, the top level requirements with their execution through the systems level, subsystems, and component levels of implementation. Furthermore, requirements can be traced to standards to satisfy regulatory requirements, as well as to design, test plans and tests to ensure product verification and validation. With this traceability comes the benefit of using the repository to help manage change, as well as assess the impact of those changes, whether it's a change in requirements, a change introduced in design, or a defect found during test. Another benefit is to use the repository to establish complete coverage of the requirements or to find gaps in what our development teams are delivering. So, in summary, the need for effective requirements management is critical for the successful design and development of these complex products and systems.
Thanks, Richard. In this video, we have centered the focus on the requirement specification document, how to produce it, and how requirements management tools can help us. I hope that you enjoyed. Goodbye.